Welcome to BDO Radio, recorded in front of a live streaming audience. It's your weekly talk show about Black Dessert Online. And don't forget, you can join the conversation by sending tweets to @BDO Radio. Leave voicemails at speakpipe.com/BDO Radio. Or email us at bdoradio@gmail.com. And now, for your host, the Wizard of the West Coast, it's Brent Copeland.
Howdy, folks. It's BDO Radio, recorded on March 20th, 2016. And I am, of course, Brent Copeland. Hope everybody had a great week in BDO and celebrating St. Patty's Day in there. Get your green on, drink your beers, and shoot your fireworks off. That's what they think of our holiday, and they pretty much got it right. So, good going on Dom there. So, this week, I guess...
Hey, Brent.
Oh, yes.
Show us your teeth.
Okay. I'll show you my teeth, kind of like the spirit does, right? But, so what I did this week is I leveled up a few more levels. I got to 41, and I'm busy killing chimeras right now, and have been for a few levels. And one of the things I've noticed is that the leveling guides out there that say, hey, go here to level or whatever. Yes, I've been looking at those. I'm sure everybody does, right? But it seems like I don't know if they're off or not for US. Like, did they tweak the levels or something for creatures? Does anybody know? Did you play any other versions, and does it feel different? The guides just feel off to me. Like, it says I shouldn't go to chimeras to, like, I don't know, in like 44, I want to say. But I've hit them at like 38 or 39. Now, I did early on join a group, and I got to say, don't be scared to join a group, man. That's some fast XP there. And it's a little less boring running around with people. As you know, it's fun doing it solo, too. It's kind of cool to see what you can kind of get away with, what you can do. The big packs you can pull by yourself and kill, but when you can just go through and decimate an area and just keep circling around like right about as their spawn does, you get a lot loot. And you get a lot of XP pretty fast. So, did that for like a day-night cycle and got a few levels that way. But I did think that was odd about the whole leveling thing. So, let me know what you think. You know where to contact me. Matter of fact, we got a few in today that I want to... We'll get to those later in the mail call section of the show. We are streaming live on Twitch, and I'll be doing this probably on Sundays. So if you want to join us, either follow BDO Radio on Twitter, and I'll try to tweet it out, or just follow the Twitch channel, which is BDO Radio, and you'll know when we go live, and you can come in and watch live. And who knows, you can ask questions in the chat room, and if I see them, we'll talk about it live. You know how it goes. So anyways, I guess the rest of the week I've got a friend who I gave a 7-day trial to. Started it, their account, and then their computer broke, and when they went in to go try it, their thing was over, so they couldn't play the game. Apparently, if you start your account, that's when the timer starts for your 7 days, so you need to be sure to tell people that you give trials to, if anybody has any left, to make sure they don't start it until they're ready to get going. He did go ahead and buy the game, and he's a good friend that does shows with me, so hopefully he'll get the BDO bug, and I'll have a cohort here to talk with, which would be a lot of fun. So we'll see if that happens. I'm trying to think of other things I did this week. I did start a little more on the conversation stuff. Like, I'd been going, town to town and making sure I talk to everyone that has a speech thing, and trying to do some of the conversation. But I don't know if y'all are like me, where I just kind of thought the conversation was, you're always trying to get, maximum points. And anyway, we'll get to some of that in the tips and tricks. I got one for you just in case on the conversation stuff, and we can talk about that in just a bit. So let's go ahead and move on to
time for news and discussion on BDO Radio.
jazz hands. So we got quite a bit of news this week. We did have the St. Patrick's Day event, which is really cool. We see they're going to definitely do holiday events. And for this holiday, you got some green beer, some dye, and some green fireworks. You could also buy some dye for like 1 pearl in the store or something like that. And then you got some free. Like every day you're supposed to get some. I think I only got some on 2 days, but my computer was dead for a day. So maybe I just missed out on some of them. So I did see a bunch of people in green, though, which kind of surprised me. I thought I'd see like everybody wearing green, and that would have been awesome. Like I wish they had a screenshot competition to like all go in the bar or something and drink, shoot fireworks, and get green on. Also, there was a patch on the 16th, and in that patch, it was actually a pretty big patch. So just in case you aren't aware of some things they did, I'm going to go over those real quick. They added 3 new channels. I call them shards, but they call them channels. So I'll try to keep with that verbiage. So on each server, there's now a Valencia 1, 2, and 3. So things must have been getting really busy for them. And to help with lag and stuff, they added those. They also changed chat bans now cost 15 energy, and the ban durations have been increased on those. They added a roleplay chat channel, and it cost 1 energy, and it's off by default, so you need to go in and turn that on if you want to do some roleplay talkity talk. Excuse me. Also, the Witch and Wizard, they fixed something where they will no longer accidentally resurrect opponents. I'm a wizard. I'm only 41, so maybe this is a PvP thing, and I have no clue what they're talking about. So someone holler into the show and let us know what that was all about. It'd be interesting to learn there. And I can read, I guess, but it's still fun to hear y'all call in. Also, they changed the damage to frozen opponents for wizards and witches. They actually increased it by 20%. So it looks like some people are going to be casting some icy stuff soon, I bet. I stick with fireballs. I'm just starting to get in lightning. Not starting to, but it's like you kind of learn a couple of the abilities and they're your go-tos. I actually, this week, I made a wizard cheat sheet, and I know this is probably so stupid, but it's basically so I can print this out, and it's 22 inches wide. It's like 2 pieces of paper that I'll have to print out, and then I can tape it to the top of my monitor, so then I can just look up real quick, and hopefully that'll get in my mind some of the spells that I don't use much. Is my goal. It's how I'm going to learn them, and it'll make me a better wizard. Harry, you got to learn, Harry, to make yourself a better wizard. That's what you got to do. Also, the holiday event will end on the 21st, which I believe is Monday. I don't know what time because it's always in these weird UTCEROABYK stuff. I need everything in Central or I'm screwed. Then I gotta go into Google and let it do its day magic for me. Also, they added some new items to the store. One really fun costume, the Splat Fisher's clothes. It's like a big like fish costume. It reminds me of a Murloc costume from WoW, except for it looks really good. Like all their costumes, they did a really good job of, and it looks like handmade, in the game. So I'm not saying I'll be getting it because I didn't put the price here, but I assume it's quite a bit, and we'll talk about that a little more. Also, they added in a new dog, the Shepherd dog pet, as well as a megaphone. And a megaphone will now, you can use it. It's, I believe, 100 loyalty points, I believe. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, it's a shout that goes to everybody on the server. And so that's kind of cool, except for I did see a spammer who must have used a bunch of loyalty points to buy one and do it or something. So hopefully they'll crack down on the spammers. I think that's a big thing that I don't know if in other countries it's just kind of whatever, or if they even have it. Like I don't know how the stuff goes over there, obviously. But here we all hate it, right? I get over it. I don't really even look at Journal much, and that's probably one of the reasons why. So it would be nice if they got rid of it, but it would also be nice if they got rid of the people throwing out dick jokes every 5 seconds in there or something, right? Like everybody has the threshold on what they want to see in the general chat. They also added in a family name change ticket for all the people confused who now know how their name should be or want. They can get it. It's a limit 2 per account, and it's 1,000 pearls each, so it's not the cheapest thing in the world. Also, just a reminder, by the time we do the next show, these events will be over, well, except for one, the Get Moving, the One for All and All for One screenshot events. I was about to call them competitions, but the Get Moving event is the one where you take a screenshot of you on a moving thing, like a wagon, a horse, a boat, etc. The One for All and All for One is 10 guild members screenshot. And then the Oscar Goes To is on the 31st. And so you got a little longer for that one. And it's video stuff, so good call for that. So that's it. That's all we got for the news today. So let's see what we got here.
Mail call.
Oh, yeah. Looks like we got some mail. So let's talk about some of that mail. Well, the first one here is a call-in. Let's see what... I haven't even listened to this, so hopefully it's no dick jokes. It may be a funny one, though. That may be okay. Let's see what we got.
Well, hello there, BDO Radioes. This is JBJ Blaze! The feature I'd really like to see in Black Desert Online is the ability to transfer your character or more from one server to another so that I can keep playing with the character I've had since before the official release, but so that I can play with you-know-who, wink wink hint hint. Anyway, thanks for the great show, and bye-bye!
So JBJ Blaze, a good friend. He calls into other shows too. So and because of those shows, he found out we're playing BDO and wanted to come play and join us. And then he got on the wrong server, so he wants to transfer servers. And I swear I just saw something about this, about transferring servers. Double check on your login screen. Check under your character. I want to say I thought I saw like a toggle where you could maybe move to another server. I don't know. Check on that. Maybe put a ticket in. Their support is super busy right now, so that might take a while, but I know they were letting people change if they were on a certain server, but I think that was from support issues. But double check that if you possibly can move. And honestly, if you're not too high, anything 20 and under, I would say really 25 and under, just go ahead and remake your character. You can get up to that level in a weekend for sure. And then you'll be with your friends. And also make sure you know what you're talking about when you say servers. Like there's 3 servers, and there's a bunch of channels under each server. Now you can move freely between those channels, so don't forget that. Maybe you're just on a different channel, and you just gotta tune it in to the right channel. And what do you tune it into? Well, you always gotta tune it into...
You're listening to...
Sorry, I won't do the call now. It's too much radio. We got a few more messages here. We have a tweet from @Bitaro2 says, hey, Brent Copeland, just found your BDO podcast. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Appreciate it. You can always contact us at BDO Radio or at Brent Copeland and send us some questions for the show. We'll be glad to answer what we can. We do have some discussion from the company in just a little bit. They answer some questions, and we'll be getting them on the show. So be sure to send in your questions, what you want us to ask them and talk to them about, and we'll try to stream it live. I think it's going to be next Friday. We're still working out the time just to be sure. So stay tuned for that. That's super cool. fragile. Okay, we also got a Facebook comment because we do have a Facebook page. It's the one that's different from everything else, but you can go to facebook.com/Black Desert Online Radio and join up and find some folks who are interested in Black Desert. But this is from Emmanuel from Facebook. Says, hey, I started listening to your show, which I believe is great. Thank you. Is it possible for you to get volunteers to tell you about the politics on each server? It may be too early, but with all the territory wars and castle sieges, I think talking about the drama and politics of the servers would be entertaining. And that's actually kind of a cool idea, like basically reporters for the each server. I would love that. If you have some commentary or info on servers, what's going down in your guild. I mean, we can't have 10-minute topics or it gets kind of screwy, but if there was like a reporter on each one that gave like a quick, update weekly, monthly, and it was just a minute or two, if you could fit into that, that'd be great. If you leave a segment too you want to do, that'd be like a minute or so. Anybody's welcome to submit that, and you can do audio at speakpipe.com/BDO radio for all of that. So, lastly, we have another call in here. This one is from Alu, and let's see what they have to say.
Why was the Ghillie suit released in the Western market, which is a market that hates pay to win?
Well, so that's a big discussion topic going on right now, pretty much everywhere that's BDO related, and it's a big thing. In the U.S., we consider something that you pay for in a store that gives you an advantage over other people. We consider that pay to win. And I actually reached out to BDO and asked them some questions about this because I knew everybody was concerned, and I wanted to see what the dealio was. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get into that, and that'll kind of answer your question there. I'm sure we'll discuss that in general. But the first thing I asked them was, are you aware of the controversy surrounding the Ghillie suit? And this is their response. They said, yes. Although we do not think that the suit gives you a massive advantage. Each suit has certain perks, and you have easy countermeasures against players who use these suits. The suit stops players from seeing your name in hit point bar, and you can cancel this with a flare. And flares are going to be craftable. I got some from something. I don't even know what now. Maybe they just gave everybody flares to kind of help with the issue. They also go on to say the Ghillie suit does not stop you from glowing red when you are flagged for PvP. It also does not hide you from the dog pets in game that will mark you when you are flagged for PvP. And then all players are detectable on the mini-map. Also, those who wear the Ghillie suit. So I guess all those things kind of make the Ghillie suit... they're thinking is not as detrimental as people are saying. So let me know what you think, because I can pass that along when I talk to them, and maybe we have some questions on it. Now, they also said, because I asked them if they were going to address it, and they basically said no, we feel that it enriches the game experience, and it's not unbalancing to the game. I did listen to a talk that Private Wiggles had with them as well, and it sounds like though they're not backing off that completely, that they are open to suggestions to make it maybe more fair. There were also, it seemed like, some issues where the programming stuff, like they may not be able to do that and have to stay in line with other countries or something, or get it approved. And I'm going to delve more into that next week and see if we can find out more info about what it takes to get changes, say if in the US or NA and EU, if we want something completely different, are they able to do it? Or like, what's the process? And I think that'd be good for everybody to know, just because then we can tailor our expectations and our request down to that size and not ask them for just stuff that's just not possible, because that's just silly. Anyway, I went on to ask, are there... well, they kind of answered that one. Because I asked them if there are any plans to remove the effects or remove it from the store completely. And they basically said they don't consider it to be a pay-to-win. Okay, so here's some stuff past the Ghillie suit. Because that's pretty much their stance right now in the Ghillie suit is there's ways to deal with it. It's not that big of an issue. If people still think it is, I go to the forums. They definitely read the forums. Let them know. Let them know your opinion there. Let me know what you think. And I guess, given my 2 cents of it, I don't feel. I think that all the cosmetic stuff you buy in the store should be just that. I believe there should be no effects on the cosmetic items that affect PvP. I just think that it becomes a gray line. Even if there are things to counteract it, well, now you have to do those things or craft those things, or even just know that you can do it. So it still, to me, gives the player with the suit an edge. It may be not as big an edge as anything, but it's still an edge of some sort. So, I mean, just in general, I think if they could, just don't add anything that affects PvP in the store at all. Pay to win is something you don't want your game known as, even, and that's more that I'm worried about. I'm worried about that they will get the reputation that they sell pay to win items, and that's enough to kill a PvP game, unfortunately, even if it's not completely accurate. So that's my biggest concern. I really like this game. I haven't gotten to the PvP yet. I hope I like it, and I want more people to play it. I want more of my friends to play it, and if they think that, I'm not going to play that game, man, I heard it's just, pay to win. That's what happened to tribes too, right? Whichever tribes that came out and people talked about how it was pay to win, and I think they even fixed that stuff, but you can't live down a reputation like that. So I'm just saying it would benefit the company to just make sure they have a strict policy of nothing that you can buy will influence PvP. I would even take off the dogs marking PvP targets. Honestly, I mean, yeah, everybody can get a dog or whatever, but you still got to buy it, right? You get a pet later on in a quest or something, but I don't know. And it's not like, I don't think it's unbalancing. I don't think either of them really are that unbalancing. But I haven't played the high-end PvP yet, so I can't really say for certain whether it is or not. But just from what I've seen and what they've said, what you can do, it doesn't seem unbalancing to me. I could live with it. I'm just more worried about the reputation. Okay. Let me know what you think, and we can discuss it more as it unfolds and we see what they do, or if they do anything with the Ghillie suit. I appreciate all the comments that people sent in and called in about, and put on the Reddit. The Reddit's a great place to get info. If you don't know, go to the subreddit, Reddit/r Black Desert Online. There's a lot of great information there. Okay, the next question I asked them, what can the NA servers expect coming up for the game? And they said, we will have near monthly content updates and smaller patches that will improve the game. That's really cool. You don't really see that in MMOs anymore. You know, WoW's like every 6 years we'll throw something new at you. Not to bash WoW, but you know, it's one of the last MMOs I played a lot. Next I asked, when can we expect updates to the NA version? I didn't know they were going to say near monthly, so they said, sorry, we can't talk about this, but expect a major expansion at the end of this month. Whoa, what? Major expansion at the end of this month, but today is the 20th. That's like less than 2 weeks. we're going to get a major expansion. So I wonder what that is. That'll be really cool to see, and looking forward to that. Lastly, I asked them if there's anything they'd like to say to all the fans of BDO, and they said, we have had a bit of a rocky start, and we would like to thank the community for sticking with us. We are addressing all issues and increasing server capacity for a smooth gameplay experience. We are also ramping up customer support to deal with players' tickets. And I've got to concur and agree with everything they said right there. Except for the rocky start. Like, I know people have had issues, but I honestly, I have not had any issues playing BDO. And now that I have an SSD hard drive in my computer, it plays even that much nicer. Oh my God. If you haven't upgraded or migrated to an SSD drive, you should. We're going to be talking about that on Techify later tonight, which is another podcast I'm on. But man, it makes gameplay so much nicer and loading up. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. And so that was all the questions I got to ask them. They were nice enough to say, hey, we'd love to be on the show. So we're working to set up a time because they are like GMT or something. So they're like 6 hours different from me because I'm GMT -6 here in Central, in the southern Alabama. Actually, I'm in northern Alabama, but the south of the U.S. of A. So we'll try to get that set up. I might have to take off work Friday to do it, but that's okay. Doing it all for you. And I have fun doing it. I'll be honest with you. I enjoy this, so hopefully you enjoy it as well, and let all y'all friends know and get more people, because the more content we get in, the better the show is, I promise you. So don't be afraid to send anything in. Anything at all. Calls, comments, segments, anything. Okay, so here's a segment. I want a name for it. I don't know what to name it. The Blacksmith Shop, the Workshop, something like that. On our Minecraft podcast, we called it Excavation Station, which was an awesome name. But basically, ideas you have for the game, things that they could put into the game to make it more fun or do new things, even maybe a pet type, anything like that. This is an idea that's kind of more of a general philosophy of the game, and it's something that I'd like to see, because right now it seems like the stuff in the shop is almost an investment. Like, you go, well, I need to buy a lot of pearls to get, the costumes and stuff. So, or, even a pet or two or stuff like that. So I'd really like to see them put in tiers of all these items. So there's some cheap costumes you can buy, and there's some cheap pets you can buy, and there's some mid-grade of all that. Even horses and mounts, and then expensive ones of all of those, because I think it really it adds something to the game that not everybody's running around in a wizard's the brown wizard's robe, and sure, get some dye and color a little bit, but it still looks like that crap. Like, I had a friend said, Brent was like, level 30 something, and I found him fishing, and he was still wearing the same robe he had on when, he was level, 1 or 2 or whatever. And it's kind of true. And I would probably buy something if it wasn't so expensive right now. But I don't think they should just say, oh, we're going to make everything cheap in the store until they have a lot of stuff, because then everybody will look the same. They'll just all wear the same thing. So the more stuff, the more costumes they get in there, I think the more variety of stuff we'll see on the server, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I want to go see what's for sale, what I can buy. So all I'm saying is tons of items, cheap items, mid-grade items, expensive items. Hell, then it gives you the opportunity to just add in super crazy expensive items, that are epic costumes that do some kind of polygon effect or something, or some, sparklies or something cool, but just cosmetic. Stick to cosmetic when you sell it. Okay. That leads us on to some tips or tricks. I told you I was going to tell you about conversations, But before we do that, I want to talk about last week, because last week we were talking about the lamps, and unfortunately no one sent me in any information on the lamps. Did you? No one? Not a single one of you? So I had to look myself. Now, this was not scientific. I bought the lamp and I bought a oil. And the lamp looks like it lasts for like 3 days. 3 days. Oil, and it's 5,000. And oil lasts for 3 hours, or you up your lamp 3 hours for 1,000. So even if you spent 5,000, which is the same as the lamp, to get 5 doses of oil, that would only be 15 hours. Like, not even did a day. So it seems to me that it's more beneficial just to buy yourself an extra lamp and then throw the one away when you're done with it and buy a new one so you won't be caught in the dark. But all I can think of is maybe the oil stacks. So maybe you could buy a bunch of stacks of oil and just kind of keep it in and use it. I don't know if maybe there's an issue where maybe the lamp runs during the day, so uses it when you don't need it. And so if you just had oil and you put it in when you needed it, maybe. But it seems like when it's dead, can you put oil in it when it's completely... I don't know. So let me know if I'm wrong on that so I can correct myself and let everyone else know. Lastly, like we were talking about conversations, like we're doing right now, just a little conversation between me and you. My tip, after I take a little sip of water, my tip is, okay, this comes from the fact that when I started playing, I thought the conversations was pretty much the same objective the whole time. You wanted people with 100% and then points, so that when you went through the whole thing, it would give you a bunch of points and you would win. And I wouldn't always win. And it felt like it wasn't because I didn't have the right people. Turns out it was, because in the top right of the conversation window, when you look there, it will actually tell you what you need to do. And sometimes it's, spark interest. Sometimes it's don't spark interest. I had one the other day that was don't spark interest 5 times. So I had to find 5 people that wouldn't spark interest or had a really low chance of sparking interest just to get points. So be sure you look at that first to see what your objective is, because it could be, get as many points. It could be don't get points. It could be do so many in a row. It's just different things. So make sure you're on the right track before you even start the conversation, or you will have a higher chance of failing. So that's about it today for the BDO radio. Hopefully we'll have a nice conversation with the company next Friday. I will tweet and let everybody know as soon as I have something scheduled and set up. If not, we'll just have another show like this. Maybe Eric will be with me by the time next time. I don't know, but I'm just going to let the did y'all like the bumpers today? I used Fiverr to get the radio dude. I found a guy who sounded like he was on the radio. I guess I could have done it too. To make the voices, and then I found some music to put in the background and made these bumpers. So I hope you like them. And with that, I'm going to play the outro bumper. And y'all have a great rest of the weekend. And I'll see y'all next week. Have fun in BDO. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to BDO Radio, a Large Marge media production. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and share. It won't even cost you any energy or contribution points.